Hello, friends, and welcome to another web episode. Today we have amazing Ricardo Sastre with us. First of all, welcome Ricardo to this web episode.
Thanks,
Before moving,
Amer. Thanks, Amer, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening.
okay, let me just give a brief introduction of Ricardo to my audience. Ricardo is a project management professional, the broad international experience that has led projects in more than 40 countries in Europe, Africa, Asia, North and South America. He holds PMP, PMI-RMP, that is Risk Management Professional. He is also Agile certified. He has also done HCMBOK, APM, PMO Practitioner credential. That's a lot of credentials with you, Ricardo. He is
Yeah,
the head of Digital Telco Experience PMO at Telefonica Digital, which mission is to make our world more human by connecting lives. I really loved his mission to make our world more human by connecting lives. In addition to running the PMO, he mentors project managers and startups. He's a member of Board of Industry 4.0 and Digital Commission in local association participation activity in pro bono activities. Contribute to project management books and is a firm believer and the promoter of the project economy. That's a great and brief introduction. It's a great pleasure to have you with us, Ricardo. And first of all, before moving ahead, I really love your credentials. You have done so many certifications, especially in the field of project management. So, while moving ahead, can you start with the slides which you have prepared,
yeah, sure.
or would you like to start another way?
Now let's go through
So,
the
let me
slides.
add to that in. Okay, so we have the slides now.
Okay, perfect. So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. So, well, thanks, Amer,
Yes,
for the invitation and thanks for the introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you this evening, night there in your country. So, in order to cover the topic that we are going to talk about today, that is how having a PMO can increase rate success of projects from an organization, I have prepared a few slides so we can have a high-level overview of the topic and some key learnings, and then we can move to the questions. And one you have,
okay,
I would be pleased to answer.
okay, okay.
So about me, well, Amer said everything, so I will not take more time in this slide. If you have some specific questions about my career, I'm open to answer later in the question section. So first thing I want to share with you that you keep in mind is that no two PMOs are alike. So what do I mean by this? So what I mean is that all PMOs are unique. So there are many different kind of PMOs. I cannot cover all kind of PMOs here in this webisode because there are many variables and options, but I want to share with you the three main categories that we have in the industry, in the PMO industry. So first, we have one classification that is based on two variables. The area of influence of the organization, that is project or program level, department or division level, or enterprise-wide level. And then the another variable is the PM, project management ownership, meaning if the project managers report to the PMO manager or they do belong to other organizations. So based on these two variables, we have 9 types of PMOs. Just for going through some of them, just you can have some names. You can have a project program control, department center of excellence, corporate center of excellence, strategic project program office, department project program office, and 9 like this. If you are interested, I can give you the full list after the webisode.
Okay.
Then
okay.
there is another classification that is based on the PMO nature, and based on this classification, we have 4 different kind of PMOs. So we have the tactical PMOs, that is a PMO with focus on performance of both the project and program delivery and the PMO performance itself. We have the supportive PMOs, that is a PMO with focus on people, and they become the center of excellence and enable capabilities to the organization. Then we have the governing PMOs, that are PMOs that are focused on the standards and governance. And then we have the strategic PMOs, that are the ones with focus on business goals and the alignment of those goals to the strategic goals of the organization. So we have 4 different PMOs based on the nature. And then we have another category that is based on the project management methodologies used by these PMOs. And then we can differentiate between 3 different PMOs. We have the governance PMOs, that are the ones that are using predictive project management methodologies. We have the hybrid PMOs, that are the ones that are using predictive and adaptive methodologies, depending on the project. And we have the agile PMOs, that are called as well now agile management offices, that are the ones that are using adaptive methodologies. So I'm sure that many of you are now asking yourselves, okay, so based on all these categories, which one is the best that fits in my organization? So in order to answer this question, just keep in mind that the best is the one that is more aligned to the goals of your organization. Because at the end, the PMO is the one that has to articulate how to lead or support the organization strategy and the business problem opportunities that the projects are providing a solution for. So I don't know how many of you are working currently for a PMO, or you have worked before in a PMO.
Okay.
But I want to share with you the pillars of the PMO, going through the principles. So the PMOs, we have 5 principles that are the ones that you can see here. So first, we are instruments of integration, meaning that we are integrators, because we are the bridge between the strategy design and the strategy execution. And we bring together the processes, practice, methods, knowledge, and all the people around the organization involved in the project, in order to ensure that the company portfolio is coordinated and successfully delivered. Then we are a single source of truths, meaning that we are independent, or we should be independent, objective, and impartial entities that provide visibility and transparency to the leadership teams, enabling capability, confidence, in delivery and informed decision making. Then serving to the customer. So the PMOs, we are born to serve. So we invest a great amount of time understanding which one are the needs of our customers. And our customers are not only the final customers of the project. So our customers, for us as PMOs, is all the stakeholders in the project. Everyone that is involved in the project is our customer. And we are investing a lot of time in order to know which one are their needs and which one are the perception of value that they have. And based on this, we align and continually change and adapt our functions and services that we deliver in the PMO. Then enable capability. We are PMOs are enablers, because we are a knowledge hub. We build PPM, project portfolio management capabilities, and assist in the creation of 5 performance teams and foster the talent in the organization. And we support learning organization because we facilitate learning. We do a lot of reflective practices. We do a lot of knowledge transfer activities in order to identify and create collective opportunities for learning that allows continuous improvement in the organization. So in the serving the customer, I have mentioned that we offer functions and services based on the needs of the customers. So which one are the functions that we have in the PMOs? So here, in the best source of information we have regarding functions is this one that was done in the year 2010 by the University of Montreal and the PMI, where they did a survey with more than 500 PMOs. There were many questions, but the one that I want to address here today is that there were questions in order to try to collect which one are the main functions that the PMO deliver. And what they got from the survey is that there are main 27 functions, and what they did in order to facilitate the transfer and the knowledge of this function is to include them in 5 different groups. Those are the ones that you can see here. So we have the monitoring and controlling, competencies, methodologies, strategic management, organizational learning, and multi-project management. So once said this about the principles and functions, the questions that we were addressing in the topic today is the benefits. So the main benefits, just a short list because we can identify many benefits, but the main ones that we can remark are that having a PMO to improve the early identification of risks and issues, the reuse of the knowledge that we acquire in the projects, increase the quality of the deliverables, the accuracy of estimates, the resource management, the decision making, and we reduce the product life cycle, the delivery cost, and the non-value activities. These we can get a long list, but just wanted to focus in these main ones. So later we can try to cover other ones in the questions. So just for closing the slides, the presentation, 3 key learnings that I want to share. I would like that you can get from the session today. First is that the PMOs are unique. Second, that they have to be aligned to the strategic goals of the organization. And third, that the functions or services that we offer, they have to be based on the customer needs and the perception of the value of the customers in order to deliver value to the organization. So if you want, Amer, we can now move to the questions.
Ricardo, can you move to the last slide, like before this one?
Yeah.
PMOs are unique. We consider that most of the each, as you defined it, each PMO is different from the other PMO. Your first slide was that no PMO can be on the same line. They have to be different. My question to this is this: if the PMOs are entirely different, then the templates, then the formats, the coaching or consulting, how that can be aligned so that when we are making a PMO, when an organization is thinking to form a PMO, how they can form in the standard template, they can align in the standard template form.
So first, the point why they are unique is because the goals of the organizations, the projects that we have in the companies and the needs of our customers are different. So that's why we need to adapt and create the PMOs based on the needs, because this is one of the main reasons that PMOs fail in the organizations, is because we start saying, okay, I'm going to be a PMO hybrid, for example, but this is not aligned with what the organization really needs. Or let's say we are going to deliver these functions of services because I think these are the best for the organization. But if we don't do a consultancy work internally and we don't find which one are the customer needs in the organization, maybe we are delivering services that are not perceived that deliver value to the organization. So once we have done this, then we can move to the templates part, for example. So based on the projects, so it's not the same a template for an adaptive project than for a predictive project, because for example the charter is not the same if for agile that for the one we are using in PMBOK. So first, my recommendation is start from the big picture, and then based on the needs, decide which one is the kind of PMO we have to build. And then when we have all this, we can go down and then decide, okay, we need to have this kind of templates. We have to iterate the templates as well, so we have to check if templates work or not. So it's a continuous iteration and learning what we have to do in the PMO, and continuous adaptation on the needs, because the organization changes, the company goal changes, and we have to be continuously adapting and providing what the organization and the company needs. So it's a continuous iteration. This is very related to Agile, continuous learning, continuous iteration, continuous communication with the stakeholders, customers, in order to iterate and keep learning and improving and adapting what is needed from a PMO.
Okay, so we have to adopt it according to requirement, and each have done that. Okay, now we have received a question: which PMOs are better for predictive environment or for agile environment? Which environment suits more the formation of PM?
Mm-hmm.
Can you turn the slides off? Can I?
Yeah.
Okay. So
okay.
which format suits more? Since also PMP is also moving at the start of the next month, at next year. The first week of January, PMP is also moving more towards agile environment. So under your opinion, it is more suitable for agile to have a PMO, or it is more suitable for predictive environment? Because traditionally all major construction company, they were working in a predictive environment, and they do had a PMO which centralized all the activities. Especially if I go for construction and sectors like this. But when we talk about the agile sector, the company like Google's, the new entrepreneurs, all of them are working in a very free environment. So how PMO can assist in that area?
Yeah, that's a good question, because is now that the use of adaptive methodologies is spreading quickly in the companies, we have to adapt ourselves in the PMOs. So as you said, it's right. The PMOs started with PMP, let's say predictive methodologies. So because that was the way that the projects were handled. Now we are in a book environment. The needs of the companies change. That's the reason that why adaptive projects
so the needs
are coming now. So as PMOs, as we have seen before, there is a kind of PMO that is the hybrid PMO, and there is another one that is the Agile Management Office that is only using adaptive methodologies. So as PMOs, we can provide value in both worlds, the adaptive and the predictive. But as I said before, we have to check what is needed in our company and adapt our services and functions based on the needs. So it's true that everybody, when is thinking about PMO, is thinking about predictive, but PMOs, like the one I'm working right now, we are a hybrid PMO. So we are using both predictive and adaptive, and it works perfectly. So as PMOs, we can work in both, but we have to be constantly adapting based on the needs.
Okay. We have to be constantly adapting according to the needs. So this can work on the both sides. Okay. And now, in your journey from developing, first, I would highly appreciate if you can share a little bit about your journey, what you have learned, the most important lessons of your life, and how you relate it to management PMO. Because once you consider your life, for me, it's all about the management. Your life is a project, and you are the project manager of your life, and you are managing each and every aspect. You have to manage your parents, you have to manage your job, everything you have to align. So in a way, you are heading the PMO and you are managing each and every task. So can you share some major lessons of your journey and how they relate to PMOs?
Yeah. In fact, what you said is very important, because that's the project economy. So you said that even your family is a project. Everything is a project. And now, with the pandemic of COVID, we have a lot of changes that are coming. The change is implemented by projects. So that's the project economy. So everything is becoming now a project. So about the 3 lessons that, based on my professional experience, the first one is applicable for project management and for every aspect of your life, is that always keep
Okay.
learning, because it's key.
Okay.
So we have to keep learning. And now in our times, everything is changing so quickly that we have to keep learning and very fast, because there are many new trends, many new technologies, methodologies coming. So we have to be quickly learning and always learning. So don't stop learning, never. That's key for your life and for your career. The second, based on my career, that this was very important as well for my personal life, is travel as much as possible and learn from other cultures, because I was very lucky, because due to my job I have been able to work in projects in more than 40 countries.
Okay.
And it's very enrichful, the experience you get when you are traveling and working in different environments. So if you don't have the opportunity to travel because of your job, try at least to travel just as a hobby, because it's a very enrichful experience you can get. And the third that is linked to this one is try to learn as much language as you can, because communication is key. So at the end, you need to be able to communicate with the people, whenever, if in your personal life or in your job. So as much language you can speak is the best. And when you're traveling, you realize that it's very important, because when you are in a country where you have some basic knowledge of that language, then when you are coming back is when you realize I need to spend more time improving my skills on this language. So I will say that these are the three main learnings lessons that I would like to share with you.
Okay. Okay. So always keep learning, travel as much as possible, and learn languages. Especially in this COVID-19 time, these three lessons can help us become better persons. Okay.
Mm.
We have seen organization, they are reluctant to make a project management office, that is PMO. But in your professional experience, what can be the reasons behind it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reasons, what I have seen in my experience, is that many key stakeholders do not understand the value that the PMO offer. And many times it's because we are not able to explain it. So that's something we have to reflect as project management professionals, as PMO leaders. We need to be able to sell what are we doing. So in order to sell what we do, and when an organization is thinking about, do I need a PMO? The first thing that there are two different areas, is that first, why do I need a PMO, and can I create a PMO? So based on if you think that you need to do it and if you can do it, is when you have to start working on the design phase of the PMOs. So in order to establish a PMO, there are different phases. So the first one is the design phase, and then is where you have to answer the why and the what. The why is you have to think as PMO lead, why is the organization creating a PMO? Why do they need the PMO? What as PMO we want to achieve? Is there a justification for creating the PMO? And do the organization has the resources? And you have to think as well the what, is that what areas are going to be covered by PMO, what is what the PMO will deliver and what will not deliver, and what functions and services, as I said before, will be delivered. So we have to work around the why and what, and create a value proposition based on the needs of the organization in order to show and sell to the key stakeholders that the PMO is needed. So I would say that is mainly the main reason why there is reluctance is because we don't properly communicate which one is the value that we are going to offer.
Okay. Thank you. That was a great answer. The way you covered, I really like it. Okay. We have another question about your article, that change this crisis will bring. Can you pour some light on that idea?
Hmm. Yeah, this was an article that I wrote at the beginning of the lockdown in LinkedIn. So basically is that, as we are seeing now, so once the pandemic is over, that we don't know yet when will it be over, we'll go back to our normal life that will be not the same that we had before. There will be a new normality. And on top of that, this is a huge crisis, the one we're having now. And the crisis brings change. So the crisis brings threats and opportunities. And the change are driven by projects and programs. So we are right now, as project management professionals, in a privileged position in order to be able to contribute to the society, to overcome this situation we're having, and to make the change that we need in order to have this new normality. So I link it to the project economy that I mentioned before, because the project economy is that basically everything is becoming a project. Everything is managed by a project. So what we have to do as project management professionals is that we have to make use of this opportunity, that there will be many projects around, and manage the projects properly. So be sure that we are on top of the projects, and we as project management professionals are the ones that are leading the change that this crisis is coming.
Sure, that is 100% sure that we as a project managers have to ensure that we can ensure this change in a positive way. Okay, we have a question. Can there be separate PMOs for customer needs control and the internal project control? Means, can there be two separate PMOs for the point 2 and 3 of the last slide?
Mm-hmm.
The slides you have shown,
Yeah.
can there be two separate PMOs for the point 2 and 3 of the last slide?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, in companies, multinational companies like the one I'm working for, that is Telefonica, we have several PMOs. So depending on, as well as I said in the categorization, we have PMOs based on enterprise-wide level, or just project program level, or division level. So in the case of multinational companies, or big companies, yeah, it's common to have several PMOs if there is a need for that. I mean, if after we review what the organization needs and how do they perceive the value, maybe our conclusion is we have to have different PMOs, because they are going to be managing so different projects that it doesn't make sense to have everything in just one PMO. But we have to go through the which one are the needs and the value perception of the company, and as well how are we delivering value through the PMO. So yes, there can be cases where the conclusion is, okay, we need more than one PMO.
Okay. Since we have last 2 or 3 minutes, so quick questions. How communication skills can play in the success of a person as well as for a PMO? In order to, we all know communications are paramount important. So for PMO, which type of communication is more important? Since we have different models, like if you are familiar with Ray Dalio, one of the top investors of the world, in his Bridgewater, they use the models that they record all the communication in their company. They record all the communication, and anyone can view that communication. They called it as, this is an example of open communication. When we all then we all have closed meeting communication, then only few people can understand, and communication can only go to those people. Then we have another model that okay, everyone can communicate, like we have exponential programming, people try to overheard and things like that. So for you,
Yeah.
which is one of the best way as communication, which is one of the best way to be effectively communicate as a PMO?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question, because communication is key for the project managers and the success of the projects. So in fact, there are studies that says that as project managers, we should be like 90% of our time working and doing communication in order to have a successful project. So the communication strategy depends on the organizational culture and the projects. In my case, for example, now we are a hybrid PMO. We are using predictive and active methodologies. So we are using, as you said, a lot of great use of the osmotic communication. That is the one that you get when you are working together in the same area. And now, as we are locked down, we are using the virtual communication. And we have other formal channels of communication as well for doing the reporting to the top leadership management. So we have to adapt the strategy based on the needs of the organization and the culture.
Okay. Okay. What are the top skills, if you just can give us some list, what are the top skills that are required for a person to succeed before COVID, in COVID, and after COVID? And how PMOs can help the persons to gain those skills?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, regarding skills for project managers, I like very much the approach from PMI, that is the talent triangle, where they have
Okay.
the technical project management, they have the leadership, they have the strategic and business management, and now they have the fourth layer, that is the digital. That is the new layer in the talent. So I like very much that model because I
Okay.
think it covers everything that a project manager should master in order to be able to deliver successfully the project. So in this situation of COVID, we are now with lockdowns, many people working from home for the first time in their working experience. I will remark first communication skills. So we have to adapt. Key the communication. So now we are at home. We have to find communication strategies that works. So it's very important to have communication skills in order to be able to adapt to the circumstances as we are now. And it's very important to have emotional intelligence in order to understand how do people feel under this crisis and be able to lead our teams in a successful way. And based on how dramatically is changing everything, it's very important to have as well very good skills on the strategic and business management area. And I would remark now the market awareness and conditions, because they are changing rapidly due to the COVID. So we have to be on top of the what is going on in the market and take into consideration in order to manage our projects. I think Amer, I think I lost you. I cannot see you in the streaming. So I don't know if it was me, the one that
I'm
talked.
back.
Okay, okay, perfect.
Okay. Okay. So we have this which plays a key role in the development of a person. This is one of the most important things. We both agree on that, right, Ricardo?
Yeah, sure.
Plus, as you said that now in the technical, let me just summarize, if you allow. The skills required to succeed in your life right now has been given by PMI for PMOs: technical skills, project management skill, business management skill, leadership skill, strategic skill, and
I
then we
think
can end it.
okay.
Ricardo, can you hear me?
Now I can, yeah. For a few seconds I was
Ricardo,
not
can you hear
able
me?
to. Yeah, now I can. Now I can.
So, my friends, we are having this digital revolution, and in this digital revolution, this is a normal thing to for the internet to get delayed. The thing is,
Yeah,
this is basically what is the fourth from the triangle of PMI. We have this fourth opinion that we need to aware of ourselves. We need to prepare this digital revolution. We
yeah,
need to see how we can how we can force ourselves to become more digitally connected. So I
yeah.
think we are having Ricardo back with us, and then we can ask him this question.
Mm-hmm.
So Ricardo, are
think I lost you again. So I don't know if the rest of the people is right, but I lost you, Amer.
Both sides. For example, Ricardo, you are back?
Yeah, I think I don't know if you or me, but we dropped, so I lost the track. So if you can repeat the question, please.
Okay. The last question is how much PMP, Project Management Professional Certificate, can help a person to succeed professionally, and how much it is important for PMOs to hire certified project managers?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because what we can see now is that there are many projects, and there is many, what I say, informal project managers. So that means that people that do not have certifications or qualifications, from my point of view, for leading the projects. So regarding PMP, well, you are a PMP expert, so
yes.
Do you know how many pages are there in the latest edition of PMBOK?
Sorry?
How many pages do we have in the latest PMBOK edition?
6th edition, 7th edition.
The 6th edition.
In the 6th edition, when we combine the PM book and the Agile edition combined, then we normally have 960, 70 pages in the combined edition.
Yeah. So it's a huge guide. So there is a lot of learnings in the guide. So that means that for a project manager to be able to know how to lead a project, they should at least read one. From my point of view, it should be many times the book. And the fact of having the certification, the PMP, is a fact that this person has gone through all the areas, has some knowledge of all the areas that we need to have as project managers. And now, in addition, as you said, PMI is adding Agile. That is something that is becoming increasingly needed in the projects that we are running now in the companies. So for me, the PMP is something that every project management professional should have. And now more taking into consideration that is having as addition the Agile framework as well. So in fact, it depends on the country. In some countries, PMP is very valued, and in other countries, it's not so valued, or because they have other organizations, like in UK, for example, that they have the APM, and they are more based on Prince 2 than in PMP. But I have seen in many projects that the customer requests that the project managers working the project should be PMP certified. If not, they do not allow to run the project to the provider. So yeah, PMP is something I consider that every project professional should have.
So PMP is one of the most important credential to have, in especially I would say in the MENA region and North Africa regions, so that you can become a better project managers. And as you said that companies are prerequisite now to have PMP, and from the point of view where I'm saying it, in the near future it is gonna get more and more that if you want to get the job with your engineering or with your other qualification, you have to have a credential like PMP or Prince2. And when we move towards Agile more, you have to have PMI-ACP. So Ricardo, thank you very much for joining us and giving us your ideas. It has been really great. We loved it. I'm receiving a very great feedback from the audience, and I hope we can do it again sometime in future.
Sure, it was a pleasure. So thanks for the invitation, and I'm open to come back in the future if you want.
Okay, thank you, Ricardo. See you in the future.
Perfect. See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.